Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you are all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and there's been many questions raised by the pros these last several days about the state of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War right now. On the whole, I think we're playing a pretty phenomenal game from Krig once again here in the CDL 2021, but there are some significant questions regarding the state of the map set right now, especially Checkmate, but also the weapon balancing. The Krig is already very strong. From stage 3, we're going to be playing on this new patch update where it gets even better. There are some significant questions as to what potential balancing updates Treyarch could make over these coming days. Intrigued to take your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. Let's get into things then. So first of all, I wanted to mention this, of course, this is a screenshot yesterday from Checkmate Control. Before, we played 2 more Checkmate in Hardpoint and then in Search and Destroy as well. These are maps that both OpTic and Dallas Empire like, so it's expected we get it in a series, but seeing Checkmate to finish off the job is, well, not always the most entertaining thing to watch. And despite the series being absolutely phenomenal, there were certainly some moments that, well, people had their questions about in terms of how the Checkmate thing lines up at the present time. This was, of course, that crazy 1v1 that happened between Scump and ILLey yesterday, and the questions here came out regarding the state of the Krig, right? It looked like OpTic really should have won that gunfight, or also Scump should have won that gunfight, and OpTic should have won the game, but, well, it was kind of, well, from Scump's perspective, it looked a little bit different. You can see right here, this is the screenshot that I brought up in yesterday's video, but 115 health that Scump has at the present time, when it looks like, he looks like he's not actually been shot yet because of the way, though, I suppose, that the overlay looks or something like that. But you can see that ILLey shot just before Scump did, and Scump's already done 115 health. So, understandable that ILLey wins this gunfight, but at the same time, there were certainly some questions coming out from Arcitys. I mean, 60Hz Krig, blessed ARs, says Simp, and of course, they buffed it in the most recent patch, and people say it's even better than it was before. So, you know, interesting situation with the weapon balancing. People seem to like the Krig. It seems to be the type of weapon that pros tend to enjoy, that kind of low recoil, relatively low damage weapon. It's probably not something which is going to get gentleman's agreement is. You do have to still ask questions, I think, about the QBZ. Maybe things will change with the latest patch update, that people don't think it's actually as strong as it was, and right now people seem to say that, okay, on 60Hz it certainly is dominating, but Former was doing some really good things yesterday with the QBZ, and it was kind of strange to me that OpTic having well, when Dashy was on the QBZ, he couldn't really get anything done. He now goes to the Krig. Former's using the QBZ quite a bit, and he was having some great success with it. So it is interesting to see how players' strengths definitely play to different weapons. As Clinic says as well on the Ultra, ARs are truly blessed. Are you looking for entertainment? Yes, says Clinics. Love this take, says aBeZy. So aBeZy's always kind of the guy who, well, whenever there's a discussion about how strong the assault rifles are, he is straight on the bandwagon for sure. And as Attach says, another SMG player, Krig is the best gun in the game, and it is not close. And you can argue really that with this new weapon patch update coming into the game, the 74U getting nerfed somewhat, it's probably still going to be the dominant SMG in the game from my understanding. But now the Krig gets even better. The XM4 of course is gone. Is the Krig the best gun in the game? I'm sure that the SMG players certainly think so. And well, I'm probably sure that the assault rifle players think the 74U is way too good, as Zuma says, and the AR players complain. I mean, you could argue the AR players are complaining for decent reason, given the fact that so many of their assault rifles have been banned, gentleman's agreemented out of pro play, whereas all the SMG players have had to do is get rid of a muzzle on the 74U, which I believe is now coming back with this latest patch update coming into play that did increase its recoil, so they're bringing the muzzle brake back in addition to that. But certainly some interesting discussion, as Afro says as well, that is the pre-patch Krig. It's going to get even better, but there's never going to be more than 2 Krigs on the map really at any one time, so honestly, all things considered, I think the meta is still probably going to be in a fine spot. Then though, we go all the way into the Game 5. This was an incredible Game 5, so many great moments. I mean, this is, well, the 1v1 between Scump and Shotzzy. It doesn't get too much better than, well, Call of Duty being played like this, and well, this is some really high level stuff. Now, unfortunately, it had to be played on Checkmate Search and Destroy. I think most people's perception to this Checkmate map, especially for Search and Destroy, is that it's really not fantastic. We wish we had some other map maybe to play in a Game 5, round 11 at Search and Destroy. Of course, this wasn't round 11, but in those kind of clutch intense moments, you really want to be playing the best maps in history. To cap off a great series like this between OpTic versus Dallas, it really would have been great to see a map that wasn't Checkmate Search and Destroy where only one bomb site is played. Maybe you guys liked it and have different opinions, but I think a lot of people would say that if there was a new map to come into the game, it would probably be Checkmate Search and Destroy that people want gone. However, some of these teams certainly like it. We see a team like Florida always playing Checkmate Search. These guys seem to play quite a lot as well, do OpTic and the Dallas Empire certainly. So yes, only one bomb site is viable, but teams kind of seem to like it. And well, certainly I just think the frustration from a fan perspective happens when you're playing a series like this, and it's Checkmate, Checkmate, Checkmate in a, well, Control, Hardpoint, and at Search and Destroy to finish off the series. And with teams like the Dallas Empire, I mean, New York Subliners also like this map, OpTic Chicago certainly like this map. You do see it in an awful lot of series, and I probably wish that there was some map for one of these game modes that it could be able to be replaced with. Probably Search and Destroy, because I think in Control we've actually seen some great moments as of late, and in Hardpoint it plays pretty well as well. But it's really the Search and Destroy that I wish there was something else in the game game. People certainly also agree. And Hitch says, Game 5 Checkmate, Search and Destroy. I wonder what bomb site the teams are going to go to. As Attach says in reply, let's see if A bomb will be planted for the 6th time this season. So I think the B bomb has been planted something like 60, 70 times, if not even more than that. A bomb has been planted like 6 times. So and really only in like 1v1 situations and stuff like that the majority of the time. So it's a really strange map. It doesn't play great for Search and Destroy traditionally at the very least. Defenses are very strong as well. Typically the game will go down to the wire like a 6-4 or something. Of course yesterday OpTic showed that they can certainly win offenses against the Dallas Empire, but usually it's kind of okay, trading back and forth on defenses. Everyone just goes to the B site. Yeah, I think pros would probably like something else to come into play. And as aBeZy says, even though what a phenomenal series it was yesterday, Checkmate, Search and Destroy, you think of what I'm thinking, says Attach, maybe it is time to go. And as Gevy Skill says, I always mention it when I get the chance, they got to add Standoff into the game already. And we will have to see what happens, because Stage 3 is not too long around the corner. They play with the same map set for the entirety of the stage. Therefore, if Standoff or another map is going to come into the game, it's going to have to happen relatively soon to get included for Stage 3. So I hope it happens, but we haven't really heard any rumours about it for the last several weeks. So I imagine, well, I'm not keeping my hopes particularly high. As Attaches as well, Society, if Standoff gets added to Cold War, I wonder what map it would replace for all the game modes, because in Control you're probably still going to just have 3 maps, not have 4, because then the vetoes get kind of ugly. So maybe Garrison goes, maybe Checkmate goes. I mean, Raid is certainly pretty good for Control, so I think that would stay. And maybe Standoff doesn't even work for Control and doesn't work for that game mode regardless, so maybe you just exclude it. Hardpoint, I think it would be fantastic. What would I replace for Hardpoint? Maybe Checkmate as well. People have also had their questions about Apocalypse as well. We'll talk about in a second whether that map's actually that good, whether the way the spawns work on that map is really fair in some of the situations. Wanted to mention the clip as well that came out from the flank a couple of days ago regarding the spawns in the game. This is here on Raid, and this is maybe something that would have happened back in Black Ops 2, I'm not really sure. But in this situation, Octane kills Standy on the flank over at this P4 on the basketball. And given that pretty much everything is blocked, you would imagine that Octane is blocking this back left spawn. You'd imagine that Pool is being blocked. Therefore, you would think that maybe Standy would spawn over here by Art, like way out on the driveway, and have to make his way all the way through. However, that doesn't happen. You can see in this next image right here, Standy spawns right to the left of Octane, and Octane kind of backed up a little bit. If he played it super close, maybe he wouldn't have spawned there, but still kind of strange to me that Standy spawns right here, even though technically with his teammates, and technically I suppose that Trek is going to say, or the algorithm is going to say, that okay, that spawn wasn't blocked, but Standy gets the kill on Octane, and well, Phil's going back to Octane trying to make this pinch, gets the kill, and then immediately gets shut down by the same player. Questions as to, well, whether the spawn should be tweaked on this map.
A weird situation right here. Just trades left and right.
Bro, Big P looks good too.
Nah, Big P looks.
What was with that spawn right there? Everything's blocked,
Yes.
right? So it's just like, f it. You spawn right there?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's
Yeah, no,
everywhere.
that spawn,
right now.
yeah, that spawn, that spawn's always. That catches me off guard all the time. Like, yo, I'm in the back. It's like, oh my god.
He literally
And,
just killed him. He literally just killed him, and he spawned in the same. That's unreal.
Because number 2 then spawn laundry.
But it's
Yeah,
like,
wait, that actually is insane.
It's actually comedy.
I don't get that, bro. Like,
Art is not blocked. Yeah, he should have spawned Art. You are right.
that's what I'm saying. Like, why isn't he spawning just deep? Like, if both sides of the hill are blocked, why aren't they spawning deep? You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make any sense. Definitely doesn't make any sense. And it definitely helped Minnesota right there.
And questions about the spawns also continue onto a map like Apocalypse as well. Saint says, Crossroads better than Apocalypse, by the way. Faded, says Dylan Envoy. But there's been some complaints really about the way the P2 spawns work on this map. Parasite had some interesting thought points as well we'll look at just here in a second, explaining how Apocalypse hardpoint is pretty much Hackney Yard from Modern Warfare last year, where P1's kind of a scrappy one, then P2 goes to the back, and that is certainly a money hill. P5 is also a money hill. Most of the other hills are relatively scrappy. And, that second hill especially, people do kind of complain the way the spawns work on it. It's very difficult to break. It's tough to get through. I mean, FaZe got an unbelievable comeback on them when they played the Los Angeles Grillers, that they got 160 to 1s on the latter half of that rotation. That they just stringed everything together, did LAG, and FaZe really could do nothing about it. Of course, they fell off significantly in terms of their slaying and all that type of stuff as well. But interesting to hear some of the concerns about this map, which has just come into the game, and we don't see Apocalypse hardpoint played all that often, to be honest, by some of these top teams. So it doesn't really seem like they like it too much. Gets vetoed quite a lot lot of the time, but when it does, I think it's relatively entertaining to watch. But is it great to play? Not necessarily.
Behind the hill. Like I said that in the last time I was on here, and I think that would fix a lot of the issues, but I'm not even kidding. That map is Hackney Yard. First hill and second hill are tied together. Third hill is a scrap fest that is just nades. Like, it's literally an open little box with nades. It's literally Hackney Yard third hill, right? And then you have the other hill that's like in another box, kind of like a building. Granted, it's a little bit open. And the fifth hill is also a money hill. Like,
my God, the map layout's the same.
I'm telling you, it's Hackney Yard, and
the issue though is you can't have four maps.
That's crazy. I actually never thought about it like that.
I never thought about it like that.
The map layout is the same.
I thought of P1
But despite all these complaints, all these issues, all these concerns that we have with the game right now, even if they are relatively small, the quality of the gameplay certainly does live up to expectations. This right here, I mean, I just thought this is what Call of Duty's all about, right? When you've got moments like this, Shotzzy's absolutely mind-blown that he's lost that gunfight. Scump's getting super hyped. This is when, you know, you really felt like OpTic caught the momentum, and there was nothing that they were going to, well, the Dallas Empire were going to be able to do to stop them right here. This is on the Reddit, that's why it looks kind of strange. I chucked it on Streamable so I can show you guys in relatively bigger format right here, but the player reactions, this is the type of stuff that I would just love to have on LAN, right? We would love to be able to see these reactions. I'm sure Scump would have been standing up, like, you know, like pointed across the stage, and, well, of course, you know, Crimsix and the guys pretty quickly regain, and it's just, this is what COD's all about. It's just a shame we're not on LAN to be able to show this stuff at the highest caliber of gameplay on the highest caliber stage, but I'm sure it is only just a matter of time. And the major, which is still going to be online, starts in just a couple of days' time on April the 7th on the Wednesday, and these are the first two games that we have. So Legion versus Thieves is first up. One of these teams will be gone. Thieves could be out already right at the start of the tourney if it doesn't go their way. And then the second game, Los Angeles Guerrillas versus the Mutineers. So despite LAG having such a great finish to the stage, they're still down here right at the bottom. They're going to play Mutineers in the very first round. And, well, one of these teams, or, well, two of these teams, of course, will go out on the day, which is, well, pretty surprising to some of these teams down here, especially given the fact that, honestly, looking at these series, I might well say that Thieves and Mutineers are the two teams more likely to go. That's not what I would have expected to say if you'd have asked me this question right at the beginning of the season. And then these are the games on the Thursday, so 2 winners games and then 2 losers games. That's pretty much how it goes for the next couple of days. So Subline is Empire, OpTic versus Ultra, the first 2 series up, and some elimination matches, of course, to finish off the day. But I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. Like, you enjoyed this content, other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always, take care, and I will see you next time.